Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd share with you 7 designer fragrances that I just can't live without. It was gonna be 5, but then I'm like, no, I gotta include that one. No, I gotta include that one. So it ended up being 7. I can't wait to share that with you. I also wanna share a little bit of a life update just simply because I've been dropping some bombs lately, just over the past few months that were like, you guys had reactions to it. So I wanted to fill you in and let you know what's happening in all my bizarro situations. If you're not interested in that, of course, you can fast forward. But for those of you that are interested, you're going to get all the tea shortly. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. I would love to have you part of the community. And let's get into this. So before I share with you the designer fragrances I can't live without, I wanted to talk about some life updates. The first one, I have mentioned it recently, but I'm going to mention it a few times because it's a big deal to me. Because I want to make you guys aware, and not everybody watches all the same videos. So I released perfume journals, for those of you that don't know. They come in 3 different colors, and they are in hardcover and softcover. They'll be linked down below. I'm really proud of them, and I want to thank those that have already purchased. There's been many of you that have purchased and commented that you're really excited, that you've tried them, that you're enjoying them. So I'm so happy that you're liking them. I've gotten a little bit of feedback on things that people would like to see in the future, which I really appreciate as well. But this is what the journal looks like. Each page is numbered, and then there's a table of contents so that you can keep track of your fragrances. You can use this as a reference book where you write down all the notes and everything. It's got room for the price, for the notes, different descriptor words that you can choose. You can write in how you feel about the fragrance, other descriptor words that you might have, whether you like it, the date, all of that kind of good stuff. So each page is the same in regards to that. So you can use it as either a diary where you just keep track of the fragrances you wear every day. Some people like doing that. Did you get a compliment that day? How did the fragrance make you feel that day? So you can keep that in here like a journal. Or you can use it as a reference book. So if you're spending lots of time trying many different types of fragrances, or you like to keep track of your fragrances and the notes in something that's readily accessible, these books are great for that. I chose to do it in 3 different colors. My favorite is the candy colored one. And according to my sales, your favorite is the candy colored one as well. Second is the blue one, and then this earth tones. The reason why I wanted to do it in different colors was so that you guys had not only options as far as preference, because I know that the perfume community is quite artsy. You guys like color, you like design. So I wanted to give people different options to choose from, but also so that you could use these as different references. So maybe use one for your samples, one for your actual fragrances. You could use them seasonally, this one being spring and summer, this one being fall and winter, or this one being autumn, however you wanted to use them. So 3 colors so far. The back is another version of the front with my picture on it and a little blurb about me. Go figure. I have them in hardcover as well. The hardcovers are $20.99 US, and I make the same off of either. So not quite $5, but like basically $5 per book is the profit that I get from them. So anyway, you can order them on Amazon. You can just put my name in the search engine and you will find me. Otherwise, you can use the links down below. If you have gotten a book, I would really appreciate it if you'd leave a review on Amazon, as that just helps the algorithm there. So thank you so much for all of you that have supported. I really appreciate it. And on to the rest of the story. So in the spring, I had some numbness in the side of my face, and my eye was like kind of leaking. I was leaking here. I was kind of drooling a little bit. And my jaw was really feeling off. So at first I thought that I'd pinched a nerve and that my jaw was actually out. So it felt like it wanted to kind of hang a little bit this way. So I just felt like I couldn't hold my jaw up. I was going to the chiropractor because I literally thought it was just my jaw was out of alignment. And then he's like, Maria, I'm pretty sure you've got Bell's palsy, like a mild version. So I didn't have like where your face like really droops or anything like that. The only place muscularly I was noticing it was I just didn't have strength right here to hold my jaw. So my jaw was just killing me. My face really hurt. And then it was like pretty much numb in places, or it would just be electrical tingling through here. I still have that a little bit. It's way better. I notice it's worse when I'm stressed out. And my life happens to be fairly stressful due to many other factors that I've talked to in the past, which I won't get into this time. As a result, like every once in a while, I'll notice like if I'm particularly stressed, it'll really start dancing in here, just like tingling. So nothing major. I was very thankful it was mild. The pain lasted, like as far as discomfort and it feeling really sore, for about a month. It definitely feels way better. So thank you so much for all of your concern, but I'm doing fine. And of course I was seeing the doctor that whole entire time, kept on doing updates and whatnot. For the most part, I would say it's a non-issue. I do notice it still, but that could continue for a good 6 months or so. So nothing that is impeding me, nothing that feels overly uncomfortable at this point. And yeah, so that's where the Bell's palsy ended. In May, around the same time as everything else, my car got stolen. And so they did not find my car and they had paid out the claim. So I was really worried that I wouldn't get enough to cover the loan for the vehicle. As it turns out, it was almost enough. So it ended up being like $580 short of the loan. So I felt really thankful for that. Plus, when we had purchased the vehicle, we'd actually never purchased a vehicle in a dealership before. We'd always done private and usually gotten something that was way more affordable, but we decided to do things differently and actually get a loan. And when we got the loan, we got this thing, like, you know how they just do add-ons, and I wouldn't have purchased it had I known. But in the end, it ended up being okay. It was this protection package. And so the protection package was this etching that was supposed to, first of all, lower your insurance, and second of all, help if your car got stolen. Well, it was absolutely useless for insurance, useless for the police. Like the police couldn't do anything with it. But the upside was there was this clause that if they didn't find your vehicle, you would get $5,000 towards a new vehicle. But I thought that meant they would give us $5,000. As it turns out, it was just to get a new vehicle at the dealership. So I was really concerned because at the same time as all of this, my husband, he needed a hernia operation for about 3 years. Right as all of this is happening, we find out that he's going to have hernia surgery. July 2nd was when his operation was, and that he would be off work for full 2 months, which meant going on medical EI, which is like a fraction, like half maybe of your wage. So all of a sudden it's like, and then, scrambling financially to figure out how we're even going to pull that off. I thought, oh, good, at least we'll get that $5,000 to find out that it's supposed to go through a dealership, and they had nothing that was half decent in our price range. So I had found out that the dealership could release it if they wanted to. So I was dealing with Toyota on the trail in Edmonton and dealing with this guy named Vic. Of course, they want me to keep it in the dealership if at all possible. But I begged and pleaded, and they were very kind and released that money to me. So thank you so much, Vic, for making that happen. And I was so thankful because honestly, we couldn't financially afford a loan to get something that wasn't like really affordable right now, just because everything that's gone on. And so anyway, that's where it ended. We got $5,000 so that we could get a new vehicle or put towards a new vehicle. So that's kind of where things have ended. So for the most part, okay. My health is doing fine. My husband is doing fine. And then I released that book, which I'm really excited about. So things are going well. And I just want to say thank you so much to this community for all your care and concern. I so appreciate it. So anyway, I just really love you guys, and let's get into the fragrance. So 7 designer fragrances that I absolutely can't live without. The first one is Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle. I don't ever want to be without this fragrance. It is so gorgeous. This is actually my second bottle, and I absolutely love this perfume. I haven't worn it as much as I have in the past, but I think it's such a stunning fragrance. It's just a stellar release, and I can't see anyone really getting sick of it. It's so beautiful. It's this sweet, juicy, mouth-watering, slightly boozy cooked pear. It's got primarily pear, vanilla, vetiver, and some spices in there. So to me, it smells like a braised pear in some sort of liquor with some spices. It's super sweet, juicy, mouth-watering. This is so sexy. It's uber girly, so super feminine. It's flirty, and there's never a time that I put this fragrance on that I don't feel pretty. And honestly, it's very rare that I don't receive a compliment with this fragrance. So it's a compliment getter. It's long lasting on the skin. It's just such a solid designer fragrance. I think right now, because there's so many fragrances out there, so many amazing niche fragrances as well, so many Middle Eastern fragrances, that we kind of lose sight of the gems in the designer realm. So I want to share these with you because I think they're all just such excellent fragrance. Oh, I just thought of another one. Oh, yeah, there's so many great ones. I'm sharing 7 today. Anyway, Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle. Next one is a new one. I would never want to be without this one. It's just absolutely stunning, and that is Burberry Goddess by Burberry. Now, this is a vanilla. There's, I think, cacao and ginger, some lavender in here. I definitely noticed the lavender. It was one of the first things I noticed. So I actually didn't know this had lavender in it. I sprayed it on my skin in the store, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful vanilla lavender. And what I love about the lavender in here is that it's not astringent or super balsamic. Sometimes lavender can smell almost like a cleaning product or smell like a men's cologne. This is really kind of in the background. It's definitely there. It's definitely present, but it's underneath that vanilla. So it gives the vanilla a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of almost a spicy feel. The warmth from the cacao is just delicious. This one has, I think, 3 different versions of vanilla. So there's vanilla caviar, vanilla bean, vanilla. I don't know, just lots of vanilla in here in the top, the mid, the base. So overall, one of the best vanillas that I think I have in my collection. Honestly, I love this. I think I love this. I think this would actually be my top vanilla. I'm trying to think of one that would beat it. I think this is the top. The cool thing about this one as well is that you can wear this in the warm weather and the cold weather. So super versatile. If you love vanilla and you enjoy lavender, some people, lavender is just a major put off. But if you enjoy lavender, you should really check this out because it is seriously such an excellent vanilla fragrance. So love this one. Next designer fragrance that I can't live without is Terracotta Le Parfum. Now, it's confusing because it's called Terracotta Le Parfum. I think that's because terracotta is usually associated with the bronzer. This is the bronzer smell, but it's called Le Parfum, but it's technically an EDT. But it's got decent longevity. Like, it lasts about 5-6 hours on the skin. This is such a, it's a weird fragrance because in a way it smells a little bit vintage feel. So I always think old world somehow when I smell this, or like 1950s. There's a bit of a perfumey aspect. It reminds me of the scent of Moroccan oil. So there's a bit of an oily feel to this somehow. There's coconut, there's tiare. I think there might be a ylang ylang. You're seeing the notes on the screen. But I just think that this is beautiful. It's relaxing, it's quite sensual, and it's very, very bougie to me. So it's a classy fragrance. I think it's a fragrance, honestly, that could be signature scent worthy, even though I associate this with summer. I think that you could wear this all year round, and it's just a beautiful kind of sensual, slightly beachy fragrance. Doesn't smell sunscreen to me at all, but I do think it's reminiscent of the beach with that little bit of coconut tiare, tropical floral vibe in here. As far as the notes are concerned, it also has some orange blossom and some jasmine. There's a little bit of bergamot in the opening. There's a little bit of muskiness to it. It's just a gorgeous fragrance. I always feel relaxed, but very sophisticated when I wear it. Next fragrance that I will always have to talk about as being one I can't live without is Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. Now, it's funny because Mon Guerlain is the one that reminds me of being a mom, but whenever I think about this fragrance, I think about being a mom as well, because my husband and son gave this to me on Mother's Day, and I don't know why, but every time I say that, it's actually embarrassing because I go, I feel like going, they gave it to me on Mother's Day. It was one of the first fragrances that I got when I started into fragrance. And I just felt so thankful and excited to get this, and then that it was a Mother's Day gift. Like I don't know, I'm sappy, but it always makes me cry when I think about this fragrance and when I got it. But Coco Mademoiselle is the most beautiful warm orange citrus. It doesn't feel astringent at all. It doesn't feel like cleaning products. It's just a beautiful, sweet, warm, juicy orange in the opening, blended with all these beautiful florals. It has a ton of florals, so it's got rose, orange blossom, jasmine, ylang ylang, mimosa. So tons and tons of florals in there. And then it's got a beautiful base of tonka, there's vanilla, there's vetiver, musk, patchouli, lots of gorgeous notes in there. What I find with Coco Mademoiselle is it opens with the sweet orange. You notice the florals, and I feel like this fragrance really does kind of morph as you wear it, and it starts to get a little bit more floral. The orange, though, you never lose that orange, which is amazing to me. There's also grapefruit and bergamot in there, but the orange is the one that stands out. But as it dries down on the skin, you get a little bit more of that woodiness, and it sweetens up even a little bit more with the vanilla. The other thing that's so fantastic about Coco Mademoiselle is that the longevity is stellar, like 10 to 12 hours. When I put this fragrance on, it's for the whole entire day till I go to bed. So I notice it, and you get beautiful whiffs. As far as value for money, even though this is probably one of the more pricey fragrances on the designer end of things, this is like such excellent value because you get beautiful sillage, you get gorgeous longevity, and it's just the most ultimately beautiful feminine fragrance. I just love it. I know it's been around for a while, but honestly, it's just iconic. I always feel uber feminine and put together when I put this one on. So the next fragrance that I have to share with you, I had to pick some sort of va-va-voom fragrance, and that is La Nuit Trésor. I do not ever want to be without this. Now, I know that it's been reformulated as of 2019. To be honest, I'm not sure which version I got. I think I got the old one, so it smells super decadent and rich and luxurious. It has pear, orange, and bergamot on the opening. I don't get any of that. What I get is strawberry and almost a blackberry feel. I definitely get some rose in here. I get caramel, praline, vanilla. It feels like there's chocolate in here, but I believe that it's actually coffee. It's so decadent, rich, sensual, sexy. Like, this is a diva fragrance, man. It's perfect for date night. To me, this is a better fragrance for the fall and the winter. And honestly, I would rock this during the day. It's so decadent and delicious. It's one of the first gourmands. Oh, it's just absolutely beautiful. So love this fragrance. Even though there's rose in there and some other florals, definitely feels edible. And so especially for date night, this is a fragrance that is absolutely intoxicating and addictive. And it's one that definitely is, It feels a little bit like it's nibble worthy. So this is awesome. 2 more designer fragrances that I just can't live without, and then we are done. The first is Scandal à Paris by Jean Paul Gaultier. So this fragrance is a pared back, these legs, they just want to go flying. Anyway, this is a pared back version of the original. The original is really thick. It's got some honey in there. It's super syrupy, and the honey is too indolic on my skin, and it smells like pee. Like, I put it on my skin, and at first I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever smelled in my life. Like, I can't stop sniffing myself, man. And then all of a sudden it turns into pee, and it smells like someone literally peed on my wrist. So it's a no-go for me completely. This is perfection. So this has the honey, but the honey isn't too indolic. This has pear, and the pear in this one, as opposed to La Belle, La Belle's pear is cooked. This one smells more like a fresh, juicy pear. So it keeps it kind of bright and fresh. And then this also has jasmine in it. This perfume is so girly and fun and uplifting and feminine, very feminine fragrance. I love the honey in here. It gives it kind of a little bit of a sexy kick. Definitely daytime worthy. This is a fragrance you could wear all year round. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite out of the Scandal line for sure. It's close, like, So Scandal is a wonderful fragrance. It's super sweet, raspberry, but this one with the honey, it's sexy. It's a little bit naughty, yet girl next door feel. So I absolutely love this fragrance. This is a fragrance that my husband has commented on, and he rarely comments on fragrance. So this is a keeper for life, man. Like, my husband commented on this. I've got to keep it. Last fragrance is Idole Nectar by Lancôme. It has the Idole DNA, so it's kind of a rose, slightly watery, very understatedly elegant, beautiful fragrance. But this one has a bit of a kick because it's got vanilla, caramel, and popcorn in it. So it starts off with this like massive dose of rose. Smells just like Idole. And then as it warms up on the skin, you start to get this caramel vanilla vibe coming through. And then in the deep dry down, I get a little hint of popcorn, but to me it comes across as a little bit of an earthy sweetness. I just love this fragrance. I get compliments literally every time I put this on. I get a compliment. It projects amazing. It lasts a good 7 hours. I just think it's gorgeous. It's my favorite out of the Idole line, although I haven't smelt the most recent one that I think is called Now. So I haven't smelt that one, but this one, I love the bottle. I love how wafer thin it is. It's a gorgeous bottle and a gorgeous fragrance. Again, this one is very celebratory to me. So it's a fragrance that I put on. In fact, I wore this at my father's 80th birthday celebration. So to me, it was just the perfect fragrance. It's celebratory, it's fun, it's jubilant, it's feminine, and I absolutely adore it. So those are my absolute favorite designer fragrances that I can't live without. What about you guys? Do you have a few designer fragrances that have to be in your collection? You'd just be devastated if they were gone. Leave them in the comments. I would love to know what they are. And other than that, one other thing I'll say is there was a comment that was made, and they were very gracious about it. So nothing bad. But they thought that maybe I had removed one of their suggestions for a more affordable fragrance because it kind of went missing. I want you guys to know, I have always said this, and I'll say it over and over again. I love dialogue about fragrance. So I love it when you guys give your inspired versions or dupe alternatives in the comments for people. I just think it's so important. As women, we're all at different stages in our life. We're all at different places, economically speaking. We all value different things. So some people, they may be able to afford a $400 fragrance, but they don't want to spend the money on that. So we all have different values, different ways of looking at things. And so I want to encourage you guys, if you know of great Middle Eastern options for these fragrances, or any of the niche fragrances that I ever mentioned, or if you know of fragrances that are similar, if someone says, hey, I haven't had a great experience with this, maybe you know of a fragrance that you think that they might like better, please feel free to share it in the comments. I will never shut down that kind of conversation. The only conversation I will ever shut down is if someone is disrespectful to another person. So if you actually come at someone's personhood, that to me is a line that's crossed, and that I'll shut down. But as far as healthy dialogue about not liking a fragrance, liking a fragrance, that it's so subjective. To me, this is the one place where we can agree to disagree and have different opinions and different experiences around fragrance. To me, it's a little microcosm of utopia, because we could actually have different opinions on stuff, and it seems to be relatively okay. So I just want you guys to know, if you ever think that somehow a comment has been deleted, put it back on. Like, sometimes that's happened to me where I've commented on people's fragrance, or on their comments, and it disappears. I don't know why that happens, but it does happen occasionally. So anyway, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. I love you guys so much. Again, all the fragrances are always linked down below. And also, if you are interested in getting one of these perfume journals, please feel free to use the links, or just go to Amazon. They're sold in all the countries that have Amazon, so you can purchase these anywhere. Yay! Okay, other than that, have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.